Nasti Ganga samam tirtham nasti matra samo guruhu. Nasti Vishnu samo devaha nasti Ramayanat param. There is no river holier than river Ganges. Ganga's utpatti, descent of Ganga, has been exquisitely and beautifully described, and it has been described in this Balakandam of Srimad RAmAyanam. Sagara's 60,000 sons were burnt to ashes by Kapil Vasudev. His generations, which saw Asamanjas, Amshuman and Dilip, tried their level best to redeem their ancestors of the sins incurred from the curse of Kapil Vasudev. Nobody could. Garud, who was the uncle to the 60,000 sons, he said that only the waters of river Ganga, who has never had an earthly association, can redeem them of their sins. So, Bhagirath, who was a king in the same clan, he performed penance towards Lord Brahma. Brahma was impressed with the penance of Bhagirath. He appeared before him and said, "Hey Bhagirath, to redeem your ancestors of the sins that was caused by the curse of Kapil Vasudev, you need to bring Ganga to the earth. And there is only one person whom I know can bear the burden or the great force of Ganga, and it is none but Lord Shiv. You need to perform penance to Lord Shiv." And Lord Shiv said, "I am very much impressed with you, hey Narasreshta, the best amongst the men. I will bear." And at this, Ganga poured water from his Kamandal Jal, and the water which flowed from the Kamandalam of Brahma reached the holy feet of Lord Vishnu, and his holy feet was washed, and the water was taken on the matted locks of hair of Lord Shiv. So Shiva accepted the water that was washed, and that washed the holy feet of Lord Vishnu. He tied it up tightly, and Bhagirath said, "Please let a stream of water flow." And he let one stream, and that stream distributed itself into 3 in the east, 3 in the west, and one of the streams followed Bhagirath in his chariot. While it was following, since it followed Bhagirath, it got the name Bhagirathi. And suddenly, to his surprise, he found Bhagirathi, that is Ganga, missing. He was wondering where Ganga went, and he found that Ganga, on her way, she wanted to destroy the hermitage of sage Janhu. And sage Janhu wanted to teach her a lesson. He consumed the entire Ganga. Bhagirath went and sought the mercy of sage Janhu, who said, "I will let her out through my ears." And he let. Since she came through one of the holes, namely the ear of Janhu, she is regarded as a daughter of Janhu. Thereby, she gets the name Janhavi. She followed Bhagirath, and she reached the spot where there were ashes, and she redeemed them from all their sins, and they got back their bodies. This was happening on one hand. On the other hand, we need to understand the importance of Ganga. Ganga is called Tripathaga, one who has 3 directions. She is associated with 3. 1, because she flowed eastward, westward, and the 3rd stream flowed behind Bhagirath. The other reason being, she was in the Kamandal Jal of Brahma, so she had association of Brahma. She washed the feet of Vishnu, so she had the association of Vishnu. She was locked up in the matted lock hair of Lord Shiv, so she had the association with Lord Shiv. To Brahma, to Vishnu, to Shiv. So she is called Tripathaga. The third reason is, from Brahma's Kamandal Jal, she reached Vishnu's feet. From Vishnu's feet, she reached the heaven. From the heaven, she reached Lord Shiva's matted locks. And from Shiva's matted locks, she reached the earth. So she is called Tripathaga. There is one beautiful song written by a composer in the 17th century called Muthuswami Dikshit, who says the importance of Ganga is Gange मां पाहि गिरीश शिरस्थिते गंभीर गाये संगीत वाद्य प्रिये अम्बा गंगे अंगजतत मुदे असि वरुणा मध्ये अक्रूर पूजिते अखिल जनानंदे सकल तीर्थ मूले सद्गुरु गुहलीले सकल तीर्थ मूले सद्गुरु गुहलीले वर जन्हु बाले. She is the daughter of Janhu Maharishi. Vara Janhu Bale Vyasadi Krupale Gange Mampahi. She has the association with three, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiv. There is a beautiful verse which says it. Bhaktoparadha Sahapad Saroja Haste Mandakini Vigalita Makarand Dhara Sadyastrivarga Apavargama Piksharantim Punya Babhuva Purashasana Maulimala. This is a beautiful verse that speaks about the association of Ganga with Brahma, Vishnu and Shiv. Above all, why was this story narrated by sage Vishwamitra to Ram? There is a reason behind it. When the byproduct of Lord Vishnu's feet, namely Ganga, can herself redeem the ancestors from their sins, then what is the surprise when the feet of the Lord can redeem Ahalya of the sins? Because later we are going to see how the Lord, while he was walking, he gave the Shapa Vimochanam, redeemed Ahalya, the sage, to Gautam Maharishi from her curse by the association with his feet. People wondered, how can feet cause Shapa Vimochanam? That time, Vishwamitra through this story and Valmiki through this story says, if Vishnu's feet and the byproduct of his feet, namely Ganga herself, can redeem 60,000 people, what is the surprise when those 2 feet touch upon a stone and she turns back into a lady? So the story of Ganga was narrated so as to let people know that the Lord's feet and the byproduct of Lord's feet, which is Ganga, can cure and redeem people of any kind of sins. The second reason being, the byproduct of the Lord's feet, namely Ganga, could redeem the ancestors of Bhagirath from the curse of Kapil Vasudev. The feet could redeem Ahalya from the curse that she incurred from her husband sage Gautam. If the byproduct of the feet, namely Ganga, and the feet themselves can redeem from the curse of Kapil Vasudev and Gautam Maharishi respectively, what is the surprise when the Padukas, the great sandals, the holy sandals of the Lord, which always have association with his holy feet, can wipe away the tears of the great Bharat? So there is one beautiful verse which comes and which explains how it cured and how it tried removing the tears of Bharat, how it brought joy to Bharat. Tirtham Shundhanti Pati Nandana Tarun. So this particular narration helps us understand the association of the Lord's feet and the importance of their feet. On the other hand, we need to understand what were the other stories he said. Even before he could open about the other story, I need to tell you, amongst the incarnations of the Lord, there is one incarnation that has been mentioned in Ramayana, one in Bhagavad, one in Mahabharata, and one in Vishnu Puran. The same avatar appears in all the 4, and it appears in a very important portion, and that is Kurma avatar. You can just see the Kurma avatar which is next to me, which is here. It is this incarnation that the Lord took to save the Devas. Once it is believed that the Devas and Asuras had a feud. As a resolution to bring about peace between them, it was said that the Manthara mountain has to be the churning rod and Vasuki Nag, the snake Vasuki, has to be the rope, and Devas and Asuras have to churn it out. They put the rod, which is Mandara mountain, and they tied Vasuki, the snake, around it, and Devas and Asuras, Devas at the tail and Asuras at the head, they started churning it out. While they were churning, the rod, as it was getting churned, it went down. And to support it, to give it a firm base, the Lord took the form of a tortoise and came, which has a hard shell. And to not let it go up, he pressed it with his hand from the top with the incarnation called as Asita Avataram. So Asita Avataram, which is above, and Kurma Avataram, which is below, they gave space for it to be churned, and the Devas and the Asuras churned it. And while it was being churned, there were flames that emanated from the mountain. And to bring showers, Indra ensured that there was showers on all of them, and they were all cool. But at the same time, while it was getting churned, there arose a poison out of it, which the world couldn't tolerate, which is called halahalam. And that halahal vish was consumed by Lord Shiv. And that particular vish, poison, it came and stood at the point of this throat, which is kantham. Since it was blue in color, he got this name Neelkantha. And from the churning arose the moon. The moon adorned the matted locks of Lord Shiv. Then arose Airavat, which is the four-tusked white elephant that reached as a vehicle to Lord Indra. There came the white horse, which is called Uchchaishravas. There was this wish-yielding tree called as Karpakavrish. There was this wish-yielding cow called as Kamadhenu. Well, with all of this came Mahalakshmi, Lakshmim, Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam, Shri Rangadameshwarim, Dasi Bhuta Samasta Deva Vanitam, Lokaika Deepankuram, Shri Manmanta Kataksha Labda Vibhavat, Brahmendra Ganga Dharam, Tvam Trailokya Kutumbinim Sarasijam, Vande Mukunda Priyam. Well, Mahalakshmi came. Along with her came the Kaustubh gem. The Kaustubh, which was a Ratna, a money, adorned the chest of Vishnu. And besides it, Mahalakshmi said, amongst you all, I choose Vishnu as my husband. And she chose. Well, there came Mahalakshmi, there came Kaustubh, there came Airavat, there came Uchchaishravas, there came Karpakavriksha, there came Kamadhenu, there came Halahal Vish. With all this came the nectar, which is called as Amritam, which was held in a beautiful golden pot by the doctor of all the worlds, who is none but an incarnation of Vishnu, called as Dhanvantri. Dhanvantri came with the Amrit, and Devas and Asuras stopped churning. They said this was the right time wherein we need to fight for our rights. Who gets this ambrosia? Who gets this nectar is a question, and they started running. Dhanvantri did not know what to do. He ran and people ran behind him. Let's see what happens to him, how he is being saved, and who distributed the Amrit to the Devas and Asuras. And what is the message that Valmiki or Vishwamitra want to convey to the reader of Ramayana through this particular beautiful story of Kurma Avatar? Let's look for the answers in the next episode. Thank you.